Hey there, I'm Starshaped. Welcome to my perspective, where I'm gonna look at a ladder game that I've played with the Fog of War on, and I'm gonna talk about my thought process throughout the game. Uh, so this is just a ladder game I played when I was streaming against a random opponent. And whenever I play against random, especially on a two-player map, I tend to just fast scout right away to make sure I know what race my opponent is. I can pick my hero based on what I see. A lot of times my hero choice is based on my opponent's race. So I do see a human. This guy's name is BAC plus 2. I think he was just a Smurf account. I think he was very low level, but I think he played very well, as we'll see in this game. So pretty good opponent. I see that there's no altar, and there's a quick barracks. So this tells me, okay, it's a tavern build order, which means the first thing I think when I see this is, oh, it's a Naga rush or it's a Tinker rush. It's going to be like some kind of very fast all-in. Especially if you're playing against me, if you know how I like to play, then maybe you'll think, okay, this is going to be a Huntress build. That means there won't be any units right away, there won't be any archers. I can maybe just kill the second Ancient War that my opponent's building if I'm fast enough, and I can end the game quickly. So I did decide to go with the Demon Hunter. Hero I almost never pick, but when I kind of blatantly see that there's not going to be a standard hero, like when I know it's going to be Tavern, I feel like having that mana burn is going to be so good against any choice, really. Whether it's a Tinker or a Naga or a Panda, anything that might hard counter or at least be very strong against a Keeper or a Priestess that I usually make, won't be as strong against Demon Hunter. And I'm doing kind of a strange build order here because, like I said, in my head this kind of screams all in. So I'm getting an Ancient War and a Moonwell, and a second Ancient War. So I'm getting double Ancient War and Moonwell before my Huntress All. I still want to do a Huntress build, but I'm doing like a very defensive one. So if there's an all-in, I'm going to be able to make archers in time, and he won't be able to deny any of my ancients, and I'll have a Moonwell up so I can get a lot of archers, deny towers, and then transition after that if the game goes on. And I also have a Wisp here, and I see that there's a Tinker, but alarmingly enough, I see that the Tinker is running back. He's not running to my base, and I realize I've made a huge mistake here. I kind of coin flipped on my build order. I played very defensively, but it turns out my opponent's just going for a Tinker fast expansion. Mana burn's really nice here, though. I can pretty much make sure that this is the only factor he can throw down if I'm efficient with my mana burns. And these clockwork goblins are making it really easy to creep here. I'm just trying to be as annoying as I possibly can. Mana burning. One peasant actually goes down to creeps there, but I didn't get any kills so far, and a very nice round by my opponent, perhaps sloppy by me to get surrounded like that. I decided not to town portal here because I'd already used up all my mana. I was very low HP. If I were to town portal at this point, I wouldn't have enough to heal up, so I'd use all my moon juice and I still wouldn't even be that healthy. This is a terrible start for me. My hunches are very late because of my build order. I even have an archer, because I had the time to build that archer. That's how slow my Huntress Hall was, and I've lost my hero at this point. Trying to be sneaky, trying to get back into this game by building this Ancient Protector, but my opponent wisely scouts it, and I figure out there's no point. He's going to be very aware of this now. He's going to check. He's going to make sure that I'm not building any Ancient Protectors. I actually lose this Wisp, which is unfortunate. A bad play by me. Should always run or detonate. Get one peasant kill, hide that archer, but he's being very defensively and wisely so. I'm just kind of camping his expansion, scouting for stuff. And this is a guard tower. It's not an arcane tower, so it does have a lumber mill. And as soon as there's one single guard tower, that's pretty much Huntress proof. Can't really fight against that with Huntresses. I'm hoping I can deny it with my archer and my Huntress, but it finishes just before I decide to go for it. So I decide to just harass the economy as much as I can. Tinker shows up from behind here, throws down a factory. This guard tower is doing a lot of damage against this Huntress. Like, it's piercing damage is so scary when you're unarmored. Two peasants down, but my Demon Hunter here gets surrounded for a second time. Guard tower being micro to focus down the Huntresses. And I lose my hero for the second time. This time, however, I wanted to town portal and I just kind of messed up. I have a third moon mill coming, and I have two almost full moon mills. I should have town portaled, especially with these units kind of being trapped. If I move them, they'll probably die, and if he gets out dust, it's going to be a lot of free kills. So I should have town portaled, but instead, I lost my hero twice here. And this moon mill is late. So I'm at almost 500 gold. I can't build anything because I'm supply blocked. And this moon mill isn't even all the way done. Expansion's up. Get one archer out of there at least. Throwing down these tier 1 free sentinels. I always forget about these. I still haven't gotten used to them, so I don't even utilize them that well in most of my games. But finally my hero's back. My moon mill's done. I can start making units again. But instead of making hunters outside, I have to go for glaive throwers. My one chance in this game, I figure, is going to be glaive throwers and ancient protectors. Because of the buffed damage on the glaive throwers, I figure maybe they'll be enough to actually threaten this town hall. If you saw the previous episode against Hawk, you saw how strong those glaive throwers can be. And I'm pretty much hoping to repeat that in this game to just somehow get back into it despite this terrible early game. I mean, I'm not even halfway to level 2. I've lost my hero twice. I've been supply stuck. It's just everything's gone wrong. So I'm just making sure that these ancient protectors are going up. I know that Tinker's running away. So I want to make sure I can mana burn it before he can throw down a factory close to my ancient protectors. But he does have the staff. He's buying a lot of time here. Wakes up the creeps. Actually, town portal's out instead of staffing. I think he could have gotten out with the staff, but it would have taken a lot of damage. Now he sees these ancient protectors, sees the moon glaive throwers. Does throw down the factory, so he did have just enough mana. But I mean, this factory dies really fast, so it wasn't really a big problem. And the siege begins here. I have no idea what tech level he's at. I'm figuring he's probably at tier 2 already, and I'm kind of worried that he'll show up with like Dragonhawks or something pretty soon. So these ancient protectors seem very important to have anti-air and anti-militia. I just need to keep right-clicking this town hall. Try to deny some of this regeneration by right-clicking units. Immediately pops another clarity and another regeneration scroll. He's had this expansion for a long time, so I know he's rich. I know he can waste a lot of gold on items without really taking any economic damage. Try to go in for the mana burn, but he's wisely keeping his hero back and blocking them off. And my ancient protector creates a lot of chaos here by waking up the creeps or pulling the creeps. There's defend here, so this piercing damage isn't doing a whole lot. But the hunter's normal damage is not affected. Just trying to micro-back my glaive throwers here. And this is just like the game against Hawk. I mean, this is the best way for human to deal with this. Just go for those frail glaive throwers. They do a lot of damage, but they die really quickly. So I've lost 2 now. Lost 3. All of my glaive throwers are gone. He's level 3. And there's a factory at the back here. So it cost him a lot of militia, a lot of units, but all the glaive throwers are gone. And I'm having a lot of wood issues here. So I have one glaive thrower on the way. And another building, but I have to make wisps. I have to get wood somehow to keep making glaive throwers. So I feel very behind at this point. And I see that my opponent here picks a Naga second with frost arrows. A very smart choice. It's a great way to pick off glaive throwers that are being rallied. So the Tinker staffs home to play a more defensive role with this pocket factory and just doing some damage. Meanwhile, I know that his army is here somewhere, intent on just stopping my glaive throwers from coming through. Which is very annoying to deal with, but also very smart play. So I know officially now that he's tier 2 since he picked up that Naga. And he's really going for these APs at this point, pulling in militia.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
I'm just going to pause real quick here, because during this chaos, the Naga and the 3-footmen are just being so annoying. Making sure that I cannot reinforce with more glaive throwers.
Our warriors have engaged.
I'm pulling wisps here, repairing, just trying to keep my assault going, keeping my APs alive. Getting this guard tower is pretty much the most crucial step right now, so I'm trying to focus it down. And that Tinker as well goes down, which is a huge win for me. Finally get level 3. I pick Immolation here. I'm not sure that was entirely worth it, but it felt good in the moment because I know I have a lot of splash from the Huntresses. I have splash from the AP. Adding some more area effects sounded like a good idea at the time. But I lost mana quickly. I mean, I wasn't at a lot of mana to begin with. During this, the Naga and the Tinker has been bought back, so he's killing my Moonwell. My kind of proxy Moonwell that I use to keep stuff alive. And finally, a Glaive Thrower is making it through, but it's being bracketed really fast. And this really is the issue with Glaive Throwers. They're doing a lot of damage, but they're so flimsy. Trying to keep that Wisp alive, but it goes down eventually. But Tinker is almost dead here. Dies to the second Ancient Protector Rock. But he did finally kill one of the Ancient Protectors. And again, at this point, I'm very aware that I'm going to see a lot of Griffin Aviaries, but I'm quite relieved to see that it doesn't look like he actually has anything except for that Naga at tier 2. So it's basically just Footman, Militia, Tinker, Naga. Tinker brought back for a third time, or a second time. Very expensive. Has to staff home. Good reaction here by me, I think. Like if I didn't run away immediately, realize they had the dust there, I could have gotten surrounded and lost all my Huntresses. So in my mind, this expansion is going down. It's going to be down in a matter of minutes. So I'm shifting my focus to the main now. And this is interesting because I see that he's pulling a lot of militia. I know that he's going to try and save this expansion. So my plan is to be annoying with my Huntresses and my Demon Hunter. And hopefully he won't notice that I'm right-clicking his keep with my Glaive Throwers. So he might save his expansion, but he's going to lose his keep. That's my thought process here. If he doesn't notice. He's going really hard here. Everything he's got to kill those APs. And unfortunately he does notice. So militia are called. Doing a lot of damage here to the Glaive Throwers. But hopefully I can kill the keep before I lose all my Glaive Throwers. And there we go. It's just about enough. It cost me a Glaive Thrower, probably going to cost me a second one. There we go, so only have 2 Glaive Throwers left here. I hit level 4. So it's a good level for me to be at. I know the keep's down, there's not going to be any tier 2 units coming out anytime soon. I feel like I'm in a pretty good position right now. But I do also know that this town hall did survive. He is mining. It's still 1 base against 1 base. It's tier 1 against tier 1. I mean, I'm not that far ahead. So I have to keep up the assault. I have to just keep going. And I mean, behind this, I am starting my tech, but it's very, very late. Utilizing the immolation I picked earlier. Pretty much just focusing peasants. I'm kind of ignoring his army at this point, because I know it's going to be very difficult for him to replace these peasants. He's used a lot of them to defend. He's lost all of them at his main base. These are pretty much his only peasants, so I figure it's better to go for the peasants than his actual units. And again, the Glaive Thrower is right-clicking the town hall, but his heroes pretty quickly dealing with them. The town hall does stay alive. Level 4 on that Tinker. I mean, I have a lot of damage units here. Can't really stay in this too long. Looks like he's trying to go for a surround here as well with the cold arrow. Just doing what I can. And there's that second use of the dust. And it feels like I'm kind of overstaying my welcome here. Utilizing this choke here very well. I'm just going to pause real quick because if you notice, these peasants can actually walk between this side and this side. But my huge Huntresses and my Demon Hunter cannot, so it's a very nice micro tick to, if you're getting damaged by, if a peasant's getting damaged here, you can just walk over to the other side, and then anything that's attacking here, a Grunt, Huntress, Hero, is going to have to run all the way around. And then by the time you run around, the peasant can run back to the original spot. So it's a very well-placed town hall. You should always look out for that kind of wood placement closer to the woods. But yeah, I've overstayed my welcome. Got a town portal out. But I have a lot of moon moles here, so I can heal up fully quickly. Get some mana back, so now I have a lot of mana for immolation, a lot of mana for mana burn. Almost tier 2. And I figure at this point I might as well keep making huntresses, because once I'm tier 2 I can get moonglaves. I know he doesn't have tier 2 himself. All he's going to be able to make is footmen, maybe riflemen, and both of those I think are pretty good to have huntresses against.
Goddess, light my path.
And since I know there are a lot of footmen, I know there's a lot of peasants, a lot of hurt peasants. And I want to keep up the pressure, I want to keep killing peasants, so I'm going to pick a hero that I haven't used at all pretty much in this patch, because he's been nerfed.
Upgrade finished.
The panda. So in this situation I feel like Breath of Fire is going to have a great synergy with the huntresses. Hopefully I'm getting moonglaves. I sometimes forget that upgrade, but yeah, here we go. So the moonglaive upgrade is being upgraded. No other buildings so far, pretty much just committing to this Huntress army. Breath of Fire actually being very useful here. Tinker's staying back, he wants to get mana for the Pocket Factory before I mana burn him. And there we go, throws it just before I can mana burn. So good Tinker uses this entire game, I would say. Always making the most of those factories, and well-placed factories as well. Peasants running away. Always a bit of chaos when there are all these clockwork goblins running around, soaking up damage and dealing a lot of damage themselves. So even though I'm very far ahead in supply, I'm kind of a bit worried about taking too much damage from these clockwork goblins, because I don't have any healing besides moon moles, and I just use my moon moles. So don't want to all of a sudden throw the game by losing my army. But in this straight up fight, when there are no water elementals, I mean, these footmen are just not going to be able to deal with huntresses. Especially with that moonglaive upgrade. And yeah, I'm actually going tier 3. I'm getting upgrades, so basically I just want to go for fully upgraded huntresses at this point. Maybe get a priestess or alchemist third so I have some healing.
Research finished.
So 2 attack upgrades, 1925 with the bounce upgrade, the moonglaves. Doing a lot of damage here, as we can see. Loving that new bounce on the new patch. Panda leveling up.
Our warriors have engaged
Tinker,
the enemy.
4 HP. Is he gonna die? Actually blocks himself with the factory, very nice there. The Tinker's alive, the Naga's alive. Demon Hunter very, very close to dying here. 32 HP.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Tinker also very close. I mean, what's going to happen here? 41 HP on the Demon Hunter, 41 HP on the Tinker, with a Naga chasing here from behind. I'm going to put this at half X speed. Let's see what happens. Cold Arrow. And a miss from the Tinker. And a mana burn. Or a right click, I couldn't really see. It's a very crucial miss there. I leveled up, and at level 5 I actually picked level 3 evasion to maximize the chances that I would get a miss like I did right there, keeping me alive. So 38 HP, level 5, 111 HP Naga. I run past the woods here, blocking the sight, and then I'm gonna go down to half X speed. This is so nice. Turn around, mana burn, right click, trading blows, and then Naga goes down. So both those heroes died. A very crucial evasion miss-hit from the Tinker, and another crucial miss-hit from the Naga, showing the power of evasion at the end there. So I thought this was a really cool game. I felt like I was very behind after those 2 early hero losses, so I was quite happy that I could turn around and show this kind of intense game. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to subscribe and like and share, and post comments and all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Good game.